Hello YouTube and welcome to a Rivals of Ixalan common and uncommon set review. We're going to start off with white here. First card we're looking at is Cleansing Ray, 1 and a white for a sorcery. Choose one, destroy target vampire, destroy target enchantment. My guess is this is strictly sideboard. Having looked at not the entire spoiler yet, I don't know how main deckable, like Crushing Canopy was great in the last format, but that was more so also because the flyers I think was more relevant than the vampire text. And so I'm going to give Cleansing Ray just a sideboard grade here. Divine Verdict, 3 and a white, instant destroy target attacking or blocking creature. The or blocking text makes this a little more interesting to me. It's like kind of toughish to play around, but it is expensive. So my guess is this will be fine. And I'm just going to give this like a C. I don't think you'll want a ton of these. Like one I think will be fine, but it seems like it's replaceable. Exultant Sky Marcher, 1 white for a 2/3 with flying. That seems great to me. That seems really, really strong. Chat saying I'm gonna C-. C is fair. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. So Exultant Sky Marcher, this seems really good to me. This is C+, maybe even B- range. This might be a pull into white. No. I haven't looked at all the commons yet, so I'll do my rankings of top 3 commons at the end here. But I think I'm gonna just go with C+ here for the moment. I don't know if this is a pull into white, but it might be a B-. I'm gonna reserve the right to go back and change that after I look at all the white commons and all the commons in general. Oh baby, Legion Conquistador is back. Conquistador, so here's why Conquistador is great. So the set is smaller, so you're going to see more of these in these 2 packs. So you're more likely to get a lot of these. This also might mean that people are going to want more of them, but I think this is going to be a really good card. And like C+ with the caveat that like you're going to want these. 4 CMC conditional removal makes me gag, yeah. Same achievement as last time? We'll see. We'll see. We'll wait a couple weeks to figure out what the achievement list is going to be. But I'm going to bump my grade up. I think last time we gave like Conquistador like a D, and I think it's good with the caveat that you have like 3 of them. I would call it a C+ probably. I mean, I can't give that the same grade as the Sky Marcher. All right, I'm giving Sky Marcher a B-. 3 mana for a 2/3 flyer is so good. All right, Luminous Bonds. 2 and a white. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. Basically, you still have a chance of getting more than 1 Conquistador since it's in more than just 1 pack per draft. Right, and it's in a smaller set, so in these 2 packs you are more likely to get them than you were in the Ixalan packs. Alright, Luminous Bonds. I think Pacifism's still good. Yeah, 3 mana Pacifism, boo, but still going to be good. My guess is this is still probably like C+, B-. It's probably not going to be the best white card, but it's going to be... I mean, like, Pious Interdiction was 1 more mana for gain 2 life, which was relevant, but I still think it's going to be a C+. Martyr of Dusk, 1 and a white for a 2/1 vampire soldier. When Martyr of Dusk creates... when Martyr of Dusk dies, create a 1/1 white vampire token creature with lifelink. This card seems super solid. Solid C here. It's pretty strong card, I think. Moment of Triumph. Are they just like reprinting a bunch of cards? 1 white, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. You gain 2 life. Interesting. This is fine. This is like C-, I guess. Yeah, less Deacons now. Well, but I also don't know what the vampire payoffs are for this set. We do know there's the white-black Lord, but I don't know what else. Moment of Triumph seems like a C-, maybe even a D+. But like combat tricks were really good in Ixalan, so who knows how good they'll be here. So I'm gonna keep it as a C-. Raptor Companion. I was not crazy about this card at the end of Ixalan. I'm gonna give this a D+. Not much to talk about here. 2 mana 3/1. I don't love this card. Sanguine Glorifier. 3 and a white for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, put a ++1 counter on target vampire you control. Wow. That's D. So this is like the replacement of Bishop of whatever, the Paladin of the Bloodstained. So that was basically 4 mana for 4/3 worth of power and toughness, but one of those was a 1/1 with lifelink, and this can be a 4 mana 4/4, which is pretty strong. Or it can be a 4-mana 3/3 and put a hasty counter on something. I think this is going to be good. I'm going to give this a C+, I think. It seems pretty strong to me. Oh, it says another. Oh, okay. Thank you, everyone. It says another. All right, that makes it worse, I guess. Like, you have to have a vampire in play. All right, thanks, everyone. I'm dumb. I can't read. I'll bump that down to a C. So, like, strong in a vampire's deck, less good on its own. Snubhorn Sentry, a white for an 0/3. It has Ascend. Gets +3/+0 as long as you have the City's Blessing. Interesting. So it's I mean, this is just bad. This is just bad. Like, so this is a 1-mana 3/3 on, like, turn 6 if you're lucky. This is bad. I'm going to give this a D. Squire's Devotion. 2 and a white, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. Holy crap, this is a good card. No, Ascent. Once you have it, no, right? If you control it, you get City's Blessing for the rest of the game. What do you mean? Is Ascend always checking when it's on a permanent? Like, do you mean it on casting? I don't quite know how that works. Let's see what chat says. Devotion seems absurd. Yeah, I mean, like, if this is any indication from how good auras were, this is better than Mark of the Vampire, I think. Yeah, I think this is better than Mark of the Vampire. I'm going to give this a B- right now, but it could just be a B. Like, this could end up being the best white common. If I have a Sentry, then I get 10 permanents. Do I get Blessing? Yes. Sun Sentinel, 1 and a white for a 2/2 with Vigilance. Having Vigilance on a small creature is not worth it, in my opinion. Like, it's fine to suit, like, suiting something up with Vigilance is nice, so I don't know what the equipment looks like or what the auras look like, but I think this is probably just like a D+. Again, I don't know in the context of the full set. I think this is worse than a bear. I think this is worse than a C. I don't know. This is like Raptor Companion, I think. It's like replaceable filler. You're not happy about it. Sun-Crested Pterodon. 4 and a white for a 2/5 flying dino. It has Vigilance as long as you control another dinosaur. I don't know. This is like much worse than Shining Aerosaur. Same cost, same like amount of power and toughness distributed differently. Poke King, Bear with Upside is not always a rule of thumb for a C, in my opinion. Bear with Upside depends on the format. So I'm gonna start with saying that we're not gonna want Sun Sentinel that often. Like, I think it's gonna be pretty replaceable. A Bear in Ixalan would be like a D, right? Because they were so replaceable. Like, this would be so replaceable in Ixalan, I think. Because they were just like, I mean, I guess like bears were what you wanted, but like, how much different than this is than Queensbay Soldier? You took Queensbay Soldier like 9th. You would cut it. Like, it doesn't have tribal payoffs. Vigilance is not relevant. It's basically just Queensbay Soldier. Yeah, Queensbay Soldier is arguably better. I think it's a D+. I don't think the card is very good. Okay, Sun-Crested Pterodon. I'm going to probably just give this, like, I don't know. This is like C+ or C- D+ range, I think. I'm going to start with C-. Okay, and that's the white commons. Wow. So, best white commons, top 3. I should make a new document for this. Give me 1 second. Well, I guess I'll make it in the spreadsheet, and then off YouTube, I'll change the comments. So, probably looking at the top 3 being Luminous Bonds good, Martyr of Dusk good, and Exultant Sky Marcher, probably those 3. Oh, and Squire's Devotion. Bonds, Sky Marcher, and Devotion. So far, I'm not seeing anything that makes me think that Beard is not the way to go here. So I'm going to go Devotion 1. Exultant Sky Marcher 2, Bonds 3. Devotion 1, Sky Marcher 2, Luminous Bonds 3. All right, let's move on to the uncommons. Baffling End. This is 1 and a white for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or less. When it leaves the battlefield, target opponent creates a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. This does not seem very good to me. It's fine removal. Like, it's probably people are not main decking enchant removal, so it's probably going to be okay. But it is also not going to deal with stuff that you really need. Like, it's going to have Vanquish the Weak problems if we're suiting things up. Like, it's not going to trade down, which is good. Like, it's going to be 2 mana for probably something that costs 2 or 3 mana, which is okay. And maybe even more, because the things in Ixalan were small, so maybe the things in Rivals of Ixalan are also small. We'll do some stats on the podcast this week about power and toughness and how removal stacks up against creatures and all that stuff. But I think this is like fine and probably like a B-, C+. I don't know. The second line of text, the problem is like a 3/3 green dino with trample is probably going to be better than what you exile on average, is my guess. So if they do have enchantment removal, that's a bummer. So I think, yeah, Punish is one with the win strats for sure. Except, oh, it's CMC. It's CMC, not power toughness. Oh, okay. That makes it a lot better. That makes it B- range. It's CMC, not power toughness. So I'm going to give this a B-. Okay. Blazing Hope. 1 white mana. Exile target creature with power greater than or equal to your life total. It's a really interesting card. This can't be good, though. I think this is like a D-. This is going to be dead in your hand until you're almost dead. Everdawn Champion. 1 white for a 2/2. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to Everdawn Champion. That's pretty cute. That's pretty cute. Everdawn Champion is really gross with any kind of auras. Holy crap. Everdawn Champion with the, what's it called? With Squire's Devotion? That's really good. I'm going to give this a B, I think. Yeah, people are talking about Blazing Hope being good in Death Shadow. I'm going to give this a B for now. It might be B-, but I'm going to start it off at B. Famished Paladin. 1 and a white for a 3/3. That's pretty good. Doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever you gain life, untap Famished Paladin. I don't love this. You have to have a pretty high mass of lifelink for this to be good. And even then, by that point, it's like just a 3/3. This is probably C-, D+ range, yeah. Forerunner of the Legion, 2 and a white for a 2/2. So there's a cycle of these. So when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a vampire card, reveal it, shuffle your library, then put it on top of it. Whenever another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I think this card is very strong. It doesn't look like there's any 1/1 token makers at common or uncommon. We haven't gotten through all of them, but yeah, it doesn't look like there's any token makers, right? So this card is probably not great. Like, if there were Queen's Commissions floating around, I think this would be a lot better. Like, if this were in Rivals of Ixalan, or if this were in Triple Ixalan Draft, I think this card would be really good. But I think this is probably not great. Like, if you're finding a bomb, right? If you're finding Vona, it's fine. But, and I think this is the best of this cycle. A lot of these cards are not good, in my opinion. But at least this is a 3 mana 2/2, and the ability is pretty relevant. I'm going to just give this like a C-, I think. Right, yeah, that's right. The Squire's Devotion makes a 1/1. That's true, but I think that's going to be a super high pick. So we'll say Forerunner of the Legion is a C-. Okay, next up, Imperial Ceratops. It's 4 and a white for a 3/5 dino with Enrage. When it is dealt damage, you gain 2 life. This is not exciting. I think this is like a D. Not much to discuss here. Majestic Heliopterus, 3 and a white for a 2/2 flying dino. When it attacks another target dino you control, gains flying until end of turn. This card is great. This card is great. This is like a B. I mean, it's pretty bad on blocks. What do you mean by that, Ryan? Oh, you think this definitely started as a common? Interesting. I'm gonna start this off as a B. Pride of Conquerors. 1 and a white for an instant. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. If you have the City's Blessing, those creatures get +2/+2 until end of turn. This is not a very strong card, especially it seems like Go Wide got worse with vampire tokens. So I'm going to give Pride of Conquerors a D. Sky Marcher Aspirant. White for a 2/1, Ascend, has flying as long as you can have the City's Blessing. This is pretty bad. Like, a 1-mana 2/1 is basically just a bear. Oh, you're talking about the 3/5 dino. Interesting. Sky March or Aspirant, like a 1-mana 2/1 is basically like a bear. Like, it's not very much better. And the fact it's going to have flying, like, I don't know, at some point in the game, but that's still not very, very good. I think this is probably like a D, D+. Started off as a D. Pretty underimpressed by White's uncommons here. Pretty solidly going to put Majestic Heliopterus as number 1. And I think Everdawn Champion as number 2 over Baffling End. Savannah Lion with a late game is not a very good limited card in my opinion. Because you're not going to have multiples of them. It is just worse than Aerial Guide, but I still think it's good enough. I guess I am underrating the fact that this target dino you control gains flying until end of turn, so there's a bit of a build around to it. So maybe the champion is 1 and the Heliopterus is 2. Or maybe Heliopterus doesn't make the cut. Maybe I'm going to bump Heliopterus down to a B-, and I'm going to put Everdawn Champion as 1 and Baffling End as 2. Yeah, you're right. I think I gotta reel in. I had a problem in my set review for Ixalan. I rated Pterodon Knight really highly, and that just ended up being wrong. All right, so we're gonna end on Everdawn Champion 1 and Baffling End 2. All right, that's gonna do it for the white portion of the Uncommon Common set review.